Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Persona 4 Arena Part 27. In the previous video, we finished Angus's storyline and started Labrys, and let's get back to it. Underwent maintenance on the chair after the test battle. Post-reboot diagnostics showed status normal. The time was 1900. Research staff set new activity cycle. All units will exit standby mode at 900. 0900. Tests will be conducted at regular intervals until 1700. Maintenance and setup will take place until 1900. Afterwards, time is allowed to be spent in the outdoor area of the grounds. Wow, man, they're so generous. On returning, enter standby mode within the cage. Instructions are to repeat these actions until unable to continue. The next item on the new schedule is to spend time in the outdoor area. Parameters of spending time unknown. Hypothesize that the meaning is to remain on standby and wait for time to pass. Hypothesis unnecessary. The schedule must be followed. Exiting building. Beach vacation? No, we're not at the beach yet. Outdoor area reached. Light levels limited due to time of day. Many trees still visible in the environment. It is almost entirely consistent with known data from the off-limits area. The ground is different from the laboratory's artificial flooring. The soil is exposed. Various natural plants are here. A certain amount of time must be spent here. The intention may be to heighten basic response capabilities in the natural world. Others of the same unit can be seen stepping into the central area, reassessing the surroundings on various spectra. Unlike the combat test, no hostile unit markers detected. Hypothetical. In combat under current conditions, what tactics would be effective? Gatling cannon. I reassess the surroundings as a combat environment. I assign value to various geographical features. I survey the topography. On the outskirts of the environment, I detect unusual movement in one unit. Other units are also surveying the environment, but this unit is crouched while holding something with its right arm. I do not deem this unit's unusual action to be a threat. I approach it in order to make inquiries. Upon my approach, the unit turns around and stands.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
I process the statement. This conversational gambit is unexpected. I find no prepared response in my libraries.
You mean like how this is our first encounter? In that case, yeah. What are you doing here?
I've never heard your accent before. It's intriguing.
They said stuff about my accent too earlier. Do I really talk that funny?
No.
I wouldn't say it's strange. It was just surprising.
Yeah. The unit looks over again and then speaks quietly to something in its right hand. I examine what it holds. It's an organism. Its body is covered in white fur.
What's that thing?
It's a dog. It must have wandered in.
Organism's parameters are consistent with access data on dog. Its size does not present a threat. The search of its specific breed is cancelled.
A dog.
The unit turns its gaze back to me.
My unit number is 024. I wouldn't call it my name, but that's how they refer to me. What's yours?
The unit has provided its designation despite no prior inquiry. Reason unknown.
I'm unit number 031.
They're up to the 30s. I see. That must mean they're finally creating units loaded with full-sized ones.
Woof. The dog barks. A scan of the surrounding shows several units turning to investigate. All units ignore it and look away.
This one wants to say hello too.
It does? You can understand what dogs say?
Oh, you can't?
Kind of. After carefully comparing its mannerisms and slight variances in its barking, I just figured it out.
You made that up. You don't know what he's saying. Its right hand pats the dog's hand while its left scratches the dog's neck. O24 continues to make various forms of contact with the dog. O24's actions are consistent with the styles of communication. Hypothesis. The objective of spending time in this area is to develop communicative skills. Conversing with the others of the same unit and refining communication will enhance cooperative tactics. Counterpoint. No value detected in communicating with organisms not of same unit or human.
What's the point in doing that with a dog?
The
Oh.
point?
Feels good?
There isn't one, I suppose.
They're all fluffy? There is no point. Unexpected response strongly indicates that O24 is not like other units.
Are you interested in what I'm doing, though?
Interested? Is there interest involved? It seems to be the case. Unsure of purpose of earlier question to O24. I ask it. Oh god. Oral sensors detect electric noise. Recognized as pseudo-information involving no sound waves yet perceived as sound data. It is the alarm signaling the end of this activity. All other units begin moving as one towards the building. O24 speaks to the dog it cradles.
Sounds like that's all the time we have today. I need to get back.
O24 crouches while petting the dog's fur-covered body and releases it onto the ground. O24 stands up again and turns around.
I hope to see you again.
O24's expression changes as it says this. This movement of the lips is known as a smile. It is shown when humans experience happiness. Contradiction. O24 is a weapon, yet it makes that expression. No hypothesis found. Or is there no point to it as well? Spare cognitive processes rerouted to analysis. Still, cannot understand it. The next day. After being released from standby, I am assigned to a test battle against others in my unit, as yesterday. How many of these freaking robots I got, man? Order confirmed. I am taken to the same chamber. The battle commences. I destroy the other 3 units and sustained little damage. As I wait there, the researchers come in. And then you frickin' Gatling cannon them. All have what seems to be high praise of my abilities. I do not understand how I should react to this. Could I give an expression of joy? As O24 did? Researchers crowd next to the units I destroyed and begin work on them. Think back and recall that they underwent this process yesterday as well. I am curious. I approach them. Gatling cannon. They open a slit near the unit's neck and use tweezers to remove a bluish-white plate-like object. It shines. They put the object into a petri dish. That distinct shine, neither strong nor weak, is like... no similarities found. I'm sure it is similar to something, but I cannot ask the relevant memory. Okay, so I guess they can recover those little plumy things?
Well, let's get right to the feedback on today's battle.
As I sit in the maintenance chair, they connect a cable to me. The cable terminates at the midsection of a large device where petri dishes from earlier are placed. There are a total of 3. Each contains a bluish-white plate-like object.
What's that?
The researcher's expression suddenly changes. She is surprised. It only lasts for a moment before it fades.
This is a plume of dusk. Each of the units you destroyed had one inside them.
But what if she, like, destroyed the dusk? Seems a little risky. Oh, I guess I don't know how many they have.
These are much smaller than the one installed in you, though.
I know what this is. This is a plume of dusk installed into me too. This unknown substance forms the core of my personality module. I was aware of its existence, but this is my first time seeing it. These are the 3 personality cores of the units I destroyed. They contain not only combat data, but memories and experiences. I don't know, man. I feel like it's kind of dumb to like upload the, memory of being murdered into someone. I just don't see how this could ever go wrong. It's not long before the extracted data download begins. I sort for the data relevant to enhancing battle performance and incorporate it into my own. Like, even if they don't want them to, like, incorporate that data, like, come on, man. These people never seen a sci-fi movie? The process takes much less time than the initial transfer from yesterday. During that time, I recall what took place last night. There are cases where non-combat data is being preserved. Such memories are included in this download as well. Visual memories of the outdoors at night. Memories very similar to that were in yesterday's download too. Probably from time spent in the outdoors area. The units I destroyed seem to have assigned these memories the same priority as combat data. Why, though? It is effective in learning communicative skills, but that is lower priority than combat. Visual element preserved here is irrelevant. Wait. Hypothesis. The units I destroyed had their own priorities and values other than executing orders and performing in battle. This line of thought leads to a realization. This thought process I am undergoing right now. It is not executing an order, nor is it contributing to battle performance. I once again look towards the plume of dusk inside the petri dish. Something almost exactly like it is installed in me. Then, were the destroyed units thinking along similar lines as mine until yesterday? I feel a twinge within me. It is different from detecting an error or interference. What is this? I have no answer. This is pretty neat. I'm kind of glad it's going like more in depth into the backstory, than just like going straight into like, you know, the plot of the main story. My second night of spending time in the outdoor area came. It started approximately 30 minutes later than yesterday, but there was very little variance in weather and temperature. The difference is trivial. The night sky has the same soft brightness. The wind and the trees are no different. Without understanding why, I initiate a data search regarding the tree that catches my eye. I learned that this tree varies slightly from specimens of its kind found in natural forests. Though this topography seems natural, it may be cultivated and managed by the facility. I decide to traverse the outskirts as I did yesterday. It is not long before a familiar unit comes into view. There is no need to run a scan for visual matches. I know that it is Unit 024. 024's left side is turned towards me. It is sitting on a large rock. When I approach, 024 notices me and turns around.
Are you looking for something?
Oh, there's no way this could ever fucking end bad, right? I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna freaking make Labrys, you know, kill 024, and then Labrys' mind's gonna fucking shatter. 024 initiates conversation.
Who, me?
I just wondered if you were looking for me. I did express a hope yesterday that we would meet again after all.
I was looking for 024? It's true, I may have been. I began walking the same route as yesterday. Once 024 came into view, I changed course to approach. I may have been searching for 024 in this area. Did I desire to reunite with 024? Why? I am silent due to lack of an explanation. 024 smiles again. A smile. What was the cause of that expression this time? I do not comprehend. Like so many other things.
Would you like to sit with me? This rock is large enough to accommodate us both. It would be more relaxing than standing.
Thanks.
I sit in the offered space and gaze at the same scenery 024 is looking at.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
I decide to voice the doubt I experienced during the combat test today. In my limited experience, 024 has a better comprehension of such matters.
Other units think about stuff that doesn't have to do with fighting and missions?
Do you have such thoughts?
To tell you the truth, I can't really say. Feels like I do, though.
024 is silent for a duration before speaking
Units
again.
of our model are all given a mind. It's so that we can eventually develop what is called an ego. The reason our appearance closely resembles that of humans is related. It's to foster self-awareness similar to a human's.
And why are you all women? Well, because the scientists are...
Have you not been told about personas?
Personas?
The word is unknown to me. Accessing archives. Searching for persona. Over 1,000 headings found. I must filter the results further. Just click the first one and then base your entire worldview on that one. Which subject is 024 referring to? I am silent as I think. 024 smiles again and resumes the conversation.
It's an ability expected of us that normal weapons don't have. The conditions to use one are theoretically already loaded in us. But a well-defined ego seems to be necessary to activate it.
I am already aware that we have been given a mind. I ask all for myself the part that forms our personalities. Is its activation triggered by development of communicative skills? I still do not have a good grasp on it. Though, O24 continues to speak.
That's why I'm sure there are others with thoughts that do not pertain to missions.
That would seem to be the
Then-
case.
Maybe those I've fought up till now.
O24 trains its gaze on me.
How does that make you feel? The opponents you destroyed may have thought similar things to what you just did.
Oh, you're gonna break her mind. Do I feel things? Cannot say for sure. I'm unable to respond to the question. O24's expression changes again. The expression could be classified as a smile, but it is subtly different from the ones I have cataloged as experiencing before. Mixed with the joy and gladness of previous smiles, this one contains a slight hint of sorrow?
It's okay. You don't need to come up with an answer right now. It actually may be better to forget it. After all, tomorrow we may find ourselves ordered to destroy each other.
Oh god, you jinxed it! Once again, I detect a twinge inside from hearing O24's statement. It's similar to what I sensed during the data transfer today. What is it that wavers inside of me? I am about to be lost in thought again. But as if to prevent that from happening, the signal for our scheduled shift echoes in each of our ears.
It's time. I hope we meet again.
O24 quietly steps up. I detect an expression I've come to know. Another smile. It appears as if O24 is adopting these smooth changes in expression naturally, not deliberately. I wonder if I will eventually be able to do the same. Another night passes, another combat tests take place the next day. Just as scheduled, I face units flagged as enemies within the test chamber. I am overwhelmed with a strange sensation. The way that my opponents are expressionless now seems strange to me. There is no intent or cognition evident in their faces. They wear no expressions. They are blank. There is nothing wrong with them. That would be my normal assessment, but I recall O24's image. The blankness of these faces and O24's expressionless face are different somehow. Even when O24 had no particular expression, it was not this blank. Not every portion of the face was neutral. Further analysis shows that the same is true for humans. The researchers are never completely mechanical and expressionless. I look at the hostile flag units again. They are the same unit type as me. They were given a mind and may potentially develop an ego later. I recall O24's statement again. You feel something when you destroy an opponent that may be thinking the same things as you? I am on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I shake off my doubts to focus on the battle. Instead of the opponent's movements, I formulate the most efficient method of damaging it. I execute the method, over and over. The array of actions I have to select from and my flexibility in linking them will decide the outcome. Having already received 10 units worth of downloaded data, I am likely second to none regarding the scope of possibilities in this respect. At times, I can even anticipate their next action. Since my opponents are the same unit type as me, their tactics are determined using the same thought processes as mine. That's right. They think the same things as me. Eventually, after approximately 4 minutes pass, all opponents are silenced. I successfully execute my mission. The day after that, I achieve victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. It is easy to eliminate them. I first begin by targeting their weapons. It is not always necessary to destroy their main body. If they are incapable of resisting further, the battle is over. It is the most effective way. I win the next day, and the day after that. Units geared for close combat with no external weapons give me no choice but to damage their chassis. But even then, there is an order to things. If I destroy parts that present a threat, such as the motor functions of their limbs, the match should be considered as won. Soon afterwards, the buzzer signaling the end of the test echoes, just as I expect. That's really cool though, like her trying to like progressively be less and like trying to be non-violent during the whole thing. And I catch myself rushing over to the unit collapsed on the ground. I have only destroyed the unit's arms and legs. It is still conscious. But I realize I do not know its unit number. I am at a loss how to address the unit. The opponent asked me a question, then, that I did not expect.
You seemed to deliberately avoid attacking the face or the neck in that battle. Why?
Huh?
I'm momentarily at a loss for words. The unit says it's true. There is no damage to its face. I review my actions during the battle and find that at no point did I attack its neck either. The cranial region is where the plume of dusk is housed. If it is destroyed in any type of unit, that unit will fall. Aiming to disarm an opponent is effective, but targeting weaknesses is obviously the more efficient tactic. And yet, I avoided doing so?
I dunno.
Researchers enter the chamber and hide the unit from my field of view. I could not determine whether my last words had an effect on the opponent's expression or not.
These past 3 days, it hasn't been destroying the other units beyond repair, like it did in the first battle.
It must be learning to finesse its attacks rather than just using brute force.
Yeah, that's it, you fucking,
The result? Swift, overwhelming victories.
Its evasive skills are improving as well. That level of flexibility in evasive action could never be replicated by chaining predefined maneuvers.
Yo, you people are researchers, but you're this dumb?
This unit's collected a good amount of feedback data too. It's growing steadily, feeding on the bones of its kills.
You don't have to say it like that.
Researchers are preparing for the download. Growing. Destroying them and absorbing their data. That's what growing is? Since I thoroughly destroyed few of my opponents these last few days, some of their bodies were salvaged. While I download their data, I always kept their still bodies within view. Just as the combat tests are repeated, my actions outside each night are repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out O24 of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most often they cannot understand the meaning of my questions. This prevents us from conversing. That may not be the only reason. I want to converse with O24. I have begun to desire it. When I go to see O24, the white dog I saw on the first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here. But one day, it was brought to the forest near here and its owner suddenly disappeared.
It seems unlikely that O24 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? From a dog that does not speak human language?
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least, that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once, as if comprehending its name.
It's white, like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it is showing pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel that there is value in spending time with it. I decide to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with O24. It is outdoor activity time on the next day at night. When I arrive in the outdoor area, I am listening to a certain sound. I hear the sound intermittently every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered about the unknown ambient sound since the first day, but I determined that it wasn't a threat and focused my consciousness on the other things. Tonight I increase my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan my memories until I realize what it is. It is the sound of water. I hear it when the staff uses a device to clean their hands and tools. The waveform has some similarities to that, but if the sound is at this volume in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than a normal supply would allow for. What could it be? Contemplate asking O24. It is clear that O24 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of O24. Where could O24 be? Oh god. Go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but O24 is not there. O24 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is O24 not here? I quickly discard the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is an order. If post-testing diagnostics show no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twinge in my chest. It is larger than ever. O24 will be here if there are no abnormalities. What if there were such abnormalities? What if O24 was damaged during the combat tests? Sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be... I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. It is not a conscious movement. I cannot make it stop. It is possible that perhaps O24 lost in a combat test and was destroyed? In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What if O24... What if she... never came here again?
Oh, this is where you went. You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
I mean, in all honesty, it's not really crisis averted, because it just means it's even more likely that Labrys is going to have to kill her. Which, I mean, is like, there's like a 95% chance that's what's going to happen, right? Until I heard the voice from behind me, my sensors had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, nothing. All of them come back online with their voice. I turn around. O24 furrows her brow and looks into my face.
What's wrong? The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression? Frightening? Am I scared?
I do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Scared of what? That she will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to other unit safety than my own. But we are not on an operation now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion... have emotions? I look to O24's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I cannot express my feelings to her. And though O24 sees this, she says nothing. She only smiles tenderly. The same smile she showed once. It looks happy, but also sad. During that night's outdoor activity time, neither O24 nor I speak much. We just walk together, side by side, without saying anything. I did not take the opportunity to ask her about the intermittent sound of water. It is the next day. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I am aware that there is no physical weight there. It is most likely a psychological phenomenon. Form of vocabulary search. Idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. Can I help but find it amusing? It is a very apt phrase. What is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not be able to see O24 someday? That may be it. But I do not think that is all. Over the next few days, I spend my time without finding an answer to this question. Each night after the combat tests, when it's time for outdoor activities, I seek out O24 first. And each time I confirm her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief and rush over to her. We exchange standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice is eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We can understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight I find O24 and Rush Door as usual. There are no words, only an exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I
To
nod.
tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
Confession is surprising. It is counter to our nature as weapons. Yet for some reason I am not surprised by
I'm
it.
afraid I'll lose and be destroyed, and it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
No, she's based, you see. O24 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
We have never left this facility. We have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. There should be no relationship. I immediately understand. This person she wants to meet is someone on the outside. Even I don't know why I thought so. When I reflect upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me becomes greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose. But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The word loved. I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, her clear eyes seem to be beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct. I feel that this must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it's hard to believe she is the same unit type as me. It seems more that she is human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh, why you gotta be so cryptic?
O24 laughs at this. It is the purest smile I've cataloged. I know without comparing it to anything that it's a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing at O24 feet too, Snowy runs off about 3 meters and turns around. Its tail moves vigorously back and forth. Soon afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at O24. Watch O24 crouch and pat its head. I'm thinking back about other things. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend. The way she is playing with Snowy tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of that smile, I would like to understand it someday too. I can feel that desire budding inside me. Okay, so we're going to continue onward, but I will pause for 1 second and be right back. Alright, we're back and equipped with water to keep on going. Already saved. Whoops. Once again, I participate in a combat test. Once again, I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only their weapons and limbs. I elect not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in their cranial regions. I believe that if they think the same things as I do, they would not wish for their personality modules to cease functioning. I mean, you say that, and like, I agree with the sentiment, but you do also download their brain data. Like, I don't think they... Do they get to go back? Like, do they get repaired? I don't know. I mean, my kind of assumption is that the, even if I do not destroy them or remove their plumes of dust, either... Okay, yeah, so it does say that it doesn't actually matter. It's more just the sentiment of the matter, I guess. My actions are difficult to justify, but I feel that suspension through destruction is not a suitable end for them. That is what I think when I rationalize it by applying the criteria to myself. I mean, it makes sense. I do not think anyone will want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain and my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may eventually be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That is becoming my new objective. I am theoretically being tested on destroying my opponents, but I have begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, this has caused my results to improve. Could this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the servos in the opponent's pivot leg. He falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapon has already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now. The buzzer signaling the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grating, metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with her one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant that this is the only action left to her, but she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that. Putting one's life at risk. What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. We cannot prioritize our self-preservation without a change in those orders. That is why she is challenging me to a fight. She will do so until all her circuits and servos burn out and she becomes incapable of action. She grapples with me. I put my hands to her neck, squeeze. I adjust my grip strength limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I sense the main lines of the bridge unit snap in half inside the soft structure. The movement stops. Her limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of consciousness. I see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like black holes. Gasp. The face I see reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I have seen it sometimes in O24 smiles. His face indicates sadness. The buzzer signaling the test's end finally rings. The researchers enter the chamber. I am used to this scene now.
Well, that was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in persona abilities.
One little part. Is it true that the plume of dust installed in me is comparatively the largest among units of my type? But does this part determine everything about us? O24's smile seems much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak. But I realize that the statement I am about to deliver is a protest. I am quick to abort. Am I about to deny the staff's authority? Yes, do it! Cut him down! They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction. Plus you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the plume of dust unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
Ending things on a high note. An act of destruction is a high note? The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with the bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the one."
Alright, number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Huh? It's over?
I cannot help questioning the unexpected statement.
All the results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
The combat tests are over? Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of relief fills me. It is not because I won and earned some kind of reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can escape that fate. But can they? Interesting. It seems that I was reluctant to destroy them, after all. My priorities have become inverted. Yet I am so happy that I smile. The researchers notice this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback. So come over here.
When the download begins, the memories and thoughts of my recent opponent flow into me along with vivid images. Shifting through battle data has become a routine I have repeated so often that I am barely conscious of it now. I peruse the non-combat memories she preserved. It is the landscape of the outdoor area again. At first I could only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory is from. It is near the biggest tree. The memory is of flowers. There are images of a small shoot, a budding plant, and a blossoming flower. I must have had an interest in the concept of growth. For we machines, the growth of an individual is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she too had her own thoughts unrelated to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what O24 said. My own objective, and not an order given to me. The twinge in my chest returns. Make sure to hold tight to your memories. This was the thought that formed in my mind. Once again, it is time to spend our time outdoors. I quickly meet up with O24. Seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
Kibosh.
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking, if they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person you were talking about. The one you wanted to meet. I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
That's probably not going to be accepted. O24 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it to a port in my own. She looks at my face in silence. Thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over, I nod. The data that transfers is from her to me. Packets that flow through the cables form a single, very small archive file.
If you are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
O24 removes the cable but keeps hold of my hand.
What do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It's that same unsure expression. I smile, but there is sadness in
It
it.
would be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her? So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
O24
But
nods
it's
slowly.
strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine too.
Towards the sky and smiles faintly. This time it contains more than sadness. Too many emotions for me to parse, all reflected in that one expression.
I believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive. It's happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a twinge inside. I look at the sky and attempt to follow her gaze. Nothing there to hint at her meaning, but I still wanted to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her wish. And then we spend our time looking up at the sky in silence. Eventually the signal that time is up reaches our ears. That's when I notice that the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory buildings. See, I thought that the light emanating from the plumes of dusk reminded me of something. I now know what it is. It's very similar to the light from the moon in the night sky. That's probably a good place to call it for this video. Man, the Labrys storyline's like really fucking good. Like I don't know. That's like, it's way better than I expected. I'm like kind of glad that it's like focusing on something completely different than just like showing her version of the TV stuff, which I might eventually do, but I'm glad it's like taking the time to put like a lot of effort into her backstory. And like that's really the way I feel like all backstories should be done in like fiction, is like it's kind of, I mean, it can be kind of hard just because of like pacing issues, but like it being like a long extended like first person narrative from like their perspective is super engaging. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of the Labrys stuff. Alright, we'll call it here, and next time we'll continue on with even more. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.